Okay, great. Hi guys. Sorry, my computer is like out of space. I just want to try to do a very quick October wrap up. In the future, I kind of want to do wrap ups, but like include since I do like weekly kind of things like podcasts and movies, like a general wrap up of the month. But anyways, we'll see. So the first thing I have to talk about is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. This was absolutely fantastic. I started this in September, I think, and I finished it in October. I thought this was so good. I really felt a lot of sympathy for like the killer, which is annoying. But Truman Capote, the way that he told this is so good, and I do feel quite bad for him because I think he was just like some kind of sociopath, and because there's two killers, one of them is the one who comes up with the idea, and then the other one is the one who's like not with it and ends up committing the murders. But without this first vengeful little like shit, then he wouldn't have done it. So it's just kind of frustrating that like he just got caught up. I mean, I sound crazy. I'm not trying to defend a murderer. You know what I'm saying. It's very complicated. Not everyone is just one thing or the other. But I did think this was super good. The only thing that made me very ill was the actual description of the murders. I am a fan of like true crime, and which is weird because I read Helter Skelter and they talked about the murders of like Sharon Tate when she was pregnant and stuff. But for some reason, like the description of how everyone was killed, like even just thinking about it right now makes me want to cry, and it just makes me like want to throw up a little. I think I was eating while I was reading it, and it was just not good. So, but very compelling story. I know there's a lot of controversy about this book, and so I am kind of interested in looking into that, but I have not yet because time. Then I finished Women by Charles Bukowski. I talked about this also like in September because I started it in September. This is not my favorite. This is my least favorite Charles Bukowski so far. Oh, kitties. It's just this guy who's like older and an alcoholic banging a bunch of hot ladies, and it's like, why are they all interested in you? You sound like a horrible person. So I don't know if this is. I feel like this one. It's Ham on Rye, Post Office, and Women are like all kind of like autobiographical kind of. So I don't know how much truth is in this about like Bukowski's actual life. But yeah, I was not a huge fan. I feel like I had something else that I wanted to say about it, but I don't quite remember. This is super graphic, so if you don't like reading about graphic sex, then don't read this book. The next thing that I finished is Of Love and Other Demons by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and this is translated by Edith Grossman. I thought this was so good. I did not like it. It's pretty small too. I didn't like it as much as Chronicle of Death Foretold. That one like really hit me very emotionally, but this was beautiful. He's a great writer. We're following a young girl who is basically like treated like garbage by her parents, and so she goes and lives with like the native people, I guess, or like the servant type people. And she gets like a lot of their like habits and stuff because they're the people who she spends her time with. Yeah, I don't know what they're eating. And then at some point they think that she gets bitten by a dog, and they think that she becomes possessed, or because the dog is like rabid, and they send her to a convent, and it's really magical and beautiful, and it makes me sad because there's like some very obvious like child neglect and abuse in this book towards our main character, but it's a really good book in general. And then I also finished finally The Savage Detectives by Roberto Bolaño, and this one is translated by Natasha Wimmer. So I did finish 2 books for Hispanic Heritage Month, so that's exciting. This is very convoluted. I don't know how to describe this. I feel like I've been talking about this for a long time. I did enjoy it. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 on Goodreads, and it's like a 3.5. I don't know. I thought it was good. I really don't know what to say about this book. It's good, if ish. I don't know. I feel like I was reading this with a big group, and I think the only other people that finished it were Michael Kiddo and is that your last name, Michael? Anyways, Michael from Knowledge Lost, and then Adam from Memento Mori, and I feel like both of them, like Adam hated it, and Michael really liked it. I don't think he loved it, but I think he really liked it. So I'm like in the middle, somewhere closer to Michael's side, though. I don't know. It's just like a really long book about like nothing, but I like that, so whatever. Then I read, this is upside down, Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders. I read this with, oh my gosh. Vanessa from Split Reads and Bree from Bree Hill, and I really liked this. I thought this was good. I can see why people don't like it because the style is super weird, but George Saunders is a weird dude, so whatever. I feel like you already know all about this book. I will say, I think that like the most emotional part for this book about this book for me was not Lincoln and his son's relationship, but our other two ghosts. Oh gosh, I don't remember what their names are, but like the relationship between. I'm gonna lose my mind. I ran out of disk space earlier before I went to work, so I'm just finishing this video because I don't feel like refilming the whole beginning. But then when I was almost done with this second half part, I ran out of disk space again, so I'm gonna try to do this super fast. I believe I was talking about Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders. I thought this was very good, very powerful. It touches on a lot of themes that I'm very interested in, including like immortality and our unwillingness or our unwanting of leaving this earthly plane. And I thought that was very interesting. The two main characters. Shoot, just do this. Volman and Bevins. I really enjoyed their relationship, and I thought that they brought a lot to the story. And I think this is fantastic. Whatever my opinion means. I know some people don't like it. I think it's fantastic. Anyways, I wasn't expecting anything though. I feel like maybe if you're expecting something, it can be off-putting, I guess. I don't know. The next thing that I finished was The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. Sorry, this is like so rushed. I just like really don't want to film this again. I thought this was really good. I just feel like I'm confused as to how she's able to like just create so much poetry in such a short period of time. I feel like her other collection came out last year. It might have come out the year before that, in which case I'm like a little bit, less wary, but it just feels like very, very quickly after her other thing. And it's just, are you like doing this because this is like how you really feel? Like some of it feels like just maybe a little forced, like she's trying to get words on the page as opposed to letting it like happen organically. But in general, I think this is absolutely fantastic. Womanhood, all of that kind of stuff. And I really enjoy her simple line drawings. I feel like they add a lot to whatever the poem is. It has it evokes a good emotion, kind of like seeing the little line drawings. But I understand why people don't like it. I just do like it. Maybe I'm too easy on the books that I read. I don't know. The last thing that I got is Citizen by Claudia Rankine. I'm not sure, sorry. This is so good. I'm so happy that I finally picked this up. I've been wanting to for a really long time, but the cost is the main reason why I haven't, because it is $20, but it's worth it. I feel like this is it's like a poetry essay, well, not really poetry, but I don't know, I guess poetry is like kind of a loose-ish term. I thought this was really good. I read this out loud to Jake though, and I feel like he probably didn't get as much out of it as I did reading the words off the page. The whole like essay about Serena Williams and how she was treated in like the tennis world, I think was like horrendous. Just the whole thing, it's all about, like, I mean, look at the cover, like race and stuff. And the thing that I find very interesting, I really, really hope I don't run out of space. So when I was first hired at Powell's, the guy that was doing my like training thing, he like, this is his like favorite book basically, and he was talking about how every time it gets republished, there's this page here where it says, in memory of Jordan Russell Davis, in memory of Eric Gardner, John Crawford, Michael Brown, Laquan McDonald, Akai Gurley, Tamir Rice. So like every time it's republished, they add more names. And then, oh gosh, because white men can't police their imagination, black people are dying, is what it says on the other page. And it's just, oh crap. It's just like horrible. I mean, this is good, but the situation in general is horrible. I would super, super recommend this 100% if you haven't read it, because you should read it. All right. Sorry. That is it. I kind of want to start maybe in my next wrap up, like talking about the movies and stuff like together. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. But anyways, please read Citizen if you haven't already. Okay. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you have any opinions. Yeah.